sits down to make video, starts crying. Oh my God. Good morning, good life. I actually have like really exciting news to tell you, and I'm trying to stop crying. But I am crying for a good reason. Okay, but I feel like that was supposed to be the sign from the universe. I've not heard one sound the entire time I've been here. Stop crying, I guess is what that's supposed to mean. I sat here, I was turning on Do Not Disturb so that I would be able to make a video in peace, other than the echo that you might hear because this room is enormous, but I love it. And I went to check a text from my mom. She's watching Bianca right now, and of course, Bianca just learned how to do something while I was gone because that's what children do. They wait until you leave to advance. She's just sending me a video of her like putting a ball where it goes and successfully completing its mission down a slide and then clapping for herself. And I oh my God. And then I like messaged my mom back and I was like, oh yeah, like the ball trick is cool, but I like that she's clapping for herself. And that's what made me cry, because I'm supposed to be clapping for myself right now. Oh my God, not helpful. It is so far. It is so far to a mirror. I'm sorry, now I'm like, the setting was otherwise perfect, except for now I have red eyes. I am so excited right now. I know it doesn't look like it. This has been the most challenging process of writing a book I've ever had. So Amy, when you get the harebrained idea to write your 4th book, could you please watch this back? I need to remind myself that it's hard. Because every time I write a book, I can't believe I've written 3 books. This is my 3rd book. I have written a 3rd book. By the way, the reason for this video is I've written a 3rd book. Every time I write a book, I get so excited about the content, and the content is so good, and it's always my best content ever every time a new one comes out. But I forget that even though I get better at writing books, it's still hard. I'm like, no, it'll be easier this time because I know how to do this. I have experience. No, honey, it's always hard. Okay, and I like hate that that's how I'm starting the video, but I feel like this is just it. I did it last time too. I literally have a video of me crying last time. I'm so glad this process is coming to an end. I swear I'm not complaining. I really just want to be very transparent with where I'm at in my life right now. This is a very unexpected video. I was not planning on doing this. I had no idea when I would be doing this. Well, I guess I was planning on doing this. I just didn't know when. And so here we are in my new home. I'm just joking. I did not move again. Slow, it's okay. You don't have to worry about me. I am actually borrowing a space. Because I had to sit down somewhere special, somewhere beautiful, somewhere airy, somewhere bright to celebrate this moment, the moment that is the release of my 3rd book, 365 Days of Good Morning, Good Life. Ah! Did she have to sing the angel sounds when she could totally drop in a sound effect? Yes. If you're not familiar, my 2nd book is called Good Morning, Good Life. It is the morning routine manual for starting the day on your terms, and this is the spin-off to that. In Good Morning, Good Life, we talk about the 3 pillars to start the day on your terms, and one of them is mindfulness. So I wanted to give you something really easy to achieve that moment of mindfulness every morning, which is why I have now 365 Days of Good Morning, Good Life, your page a day mindful moment. I'm so freaking excited about this. You just open up any page if you want, or pick today's date if you're like me and you're a perfectionist, and just get a little bite-sized nugget to help you move into the day, not only starting it on your terms, but owning it. Yes, I don't even know how to explain how we got here. I've been talking about this book with you for 2 years. It has been such a journey. I've not only been a blessed human being for having an incredible team that supports me and helped to get this book out, but I also have one of the best women I've ever met as my co-author. Sarah Mitchell McCain, my BFF. We have leveled up in the best friend territory now that we are co-authors. Not to mention the fact that throughout this process in the last couple of years, we came together, we decided what we wanted this book to be, and then we both got pregnant at the same time. So we had so many life events happen during the process of writing this book. I feel like everything happened for a reason, and then suddenly it was done and I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually done. It just caught me by surprise, which is why we're here today. So that is my big news. That is what I wanted to share with you. There's all the details in the description down below where you can find it on Amazon. If you decide to buy more than one copy, you can get bonuses if you do so. The link to all of that is down below. Highly recommend you buy one for yourself and one for your best friend, because if you get two, you get a free Good Morning Good Life digital planner. So all that stuff is in the description, check it out. But because we haven't really done like a sit down video in so long, I really wanted to take this time and this attention to help you in what you're currently challenged with right now. If there is something that is hard, if there is something you haven't started on yet, if there's something you have started on and you're like, gosh, I just want to land the plane. I feel you, and I've been there, and I just landed my plane. So I feel like it is my turn to help pull you along in this process so that you can feel a little bit better and more excited about what this journey is going to look like for you if you stay focused. So let's talk about how to do hard things. Yes, how do you do hard things? How do you do hard things? You know, the echo in here really is supporting my singing career. Tip number one, bring someone you love with you. This might be something that only you can do on your own. Maybe it's like, I can't have a co-author on my little project or on my hard thing. It's really all on me. That doesn't mean that you can't bring somebody along with you. This is something I've struggled with because this actually goes in the box of like asking for help. My really great way of dressing up, not asking for help, is that I basically make it seem like I can accomplish anything on my own, and then I do it, and then I just like mic drop it. I'm just like, oh, by the way, I wrote a book, and it'll just happen like that. That's basically what I did with my first book, Vlog Like a Boss. Nobody knew I was writing it. I just did it and I announced it. And that's my way of covering up the fact that I don't like to ask for help. So I just go, look, what I did. It's already done. I do think it's really good to speak with action, but it's also really easy to not hold yourself accountable when you've not brought someone along in this process. So if you're just telling somebody in your life, your partner, your parent, somebody you love, your sibling, that you're doing something, to just let them know that they should check in with you, that's a great idea. When I told this community I was coming out with a page a day reader, that was me saying, I know I can do it. I know I don't have to ask for help, but I can tell the community, because then they're gonna ask me, where is it? Is it coming soon? I wanna buy it. Where's the book? And that is a level of accountability I need, because that is a sign of love that people are offering me, that they believe in me to complete this thing and to do this hard task. In this process where I was so frustrated that I couldn't get it done faster than I wanted to, because I had unreasonable expectations as to when this book would come out and how quickly it would come out, I needed that love and that guidance from my co-author, my husband, my mom, my family, then who turned out to be my daughter, my audience, to be able to say, like, we're excited for it, it's all good, let it happen the way it happens. And that really made me feel so much better now today, because the book is astronomically better than it would have been had I tried to do it the way I have done in the past, which is quickly. My second tip for how to do hard things is to stop focusing on the hard thing. Okay, we need focus on the whole thing, but not the hard thing. And typically what's happening is you're looking at too big of a task when you are focusing on the hard thing, rather than something that is a simple first step. So instead of, I'm gonna focus on the hard thing I have to do, I'm gonna know a hard thing is going to be accomplished at some point if I focus on the small thing that is right in front of me. You sit down and you make a list and you start to figure out, what are the steps in this process? What is the small thing I can do today? What is the small step I can take today? And take that step. Because why? Because you scheduled it, because you made time for it, because you did decide to give yourself that focus moment for it. I had to walk away from my kid and my family, and I had to drive a little while to get to where I am right now so that I could focus on making this video, because it was important to me to make this video. But to allocate that time to think like, oh, I have to tell everyone about the book. Okay, that's the hard thing. I really just needed to do the small thing today, which is to let people know I happen to have a book in this video, and then I'll do something else after that, and somebody else will help me make graphics, and somebody else will help make mini videos, and it'll just continue to go and go and go because I took the small step. If I wouldn't have taken the small step, the big steps can't happen, the astronomical moves can't happen, the quantum leaps can't happen, and the hard thing can't happen. That is why it's so vital to not focus on the hard thing, but focus on the fact that you can do hard things because you decide to attack the small things in front of you. For me, it was actually really easy to focus on the small thing in front of me because the book is a page a day. So it was like, okay, one page. Can we do a page? Okay. Can we do another page? Okay. Can we do another page? And it went on and on and on. Same thing for the edit. Do a page, do a page, do a page, and it went on and on. That just happened to be my hard thing. But what is the small step? What is just the little thing that you can do, and stop worrying about the hard thing, because the hard thing will be getting chipped away at every single time you take a step. And it seems so hard to remember that. If you want the journey to suck, you focus on the hard thing. And you focus on the hard thing's too hard. It's never gonna happen. It's too big, it's too grand, it's too much, it's too long, it's gonna take too long. You're not gonna focus on the small thing. But it's funny when you do focus on the small thing, the stuff that's like, you know what, this is not Instagrammable, this is not worth writing home about, but for some reason it makes the journey so much more fun. Because you're like, I did this, and look, I did my win list today, 5 things, done. And you just feel so much better when that's what's in front of you. I made the mistake of focusing on the hard thing. I focused on the hard thing super hard. I had unreasonable expectations. It was crazy. I had to sit down and rectify the situation. And that was actually the first time I ever hired a life coach. I had to hire a life coach about 1.5 years ago. And it was actually just like the most insanely weird situation, because I was going through a lot. I told you about my health journey at the time, all these things. I hired a life coach and I sat down with her and I was like, I just really want to get my book done. Like, that's all I care about, is just getting my book done and writing the book. And that's all I care about. And she was like, okay, when do you want it to come out? Like, well, you know, in like a month, I would love for it to come out. And this lovely, amazing woman who I can't wait to talk to again soon, because I think she needs to stay in my life for a long time, just said, who cares when the book comes out? It'll happen when it happens. And I say that to people all the time, but I needed someone to say it to me. That's why I'm saying it to you right now. If you're focusing on the hard thing, if you're like, it needed to be done yesterday, it should have been done last year, I should have done this 10 years ago, I'd like it to be done tomorrow, just let it go. Just let it go. Nobody else cares. It's like everyone loves you and they want to see you progress, but nobody else cares. Nobody else cares. And you are holding yourself to a standard that is unreasonable, and it is breaking you. So let it go. It's just not worth it. And what was really interesting is I can't even believe that is the conversation I had. It was so meta, and it was just like, okay, just let it go. What happens if you didn't care if the book came out in a month? And I was like, well, I guess it could just come out whenever if it's not coming out in a month. It was like, pretty much. Let it go. Don't focus on the hard thing. You can do hard things. Take the small step in front of you. And tip number 3 for how to do hard things: stop looking backward. The only reason why something exciting, amazing, incredible that you want to happen would make you halt and make you feel friction and make you feel like you have issue with it is because you are seeing something behind you that is combating your ability to make that idea come to fruition. When you only think of what is in your past as to what relates to your future, you are not going to move. You will move because of time, but you cannot really progress because you continue to repeat the same story. When you repeat it in your mind, you repeat it in your life. That's just how it goes. So you might have this great idea. Let's say it is to write a book. I want to write a book. But maybe you're telling yourself a story like, I didn't pass English class. I was never even a good reader. Why would I write a book? You come up with anything. And that story that you remember and you choose to believe is true and cannot be debated is the thing that you connect to your dream of writing a book. That is going to keep you from progressing. But to that I ask you, what about your past has anything to do with the idea you have for the future? Why can't you reinvent yourself? Why can't you pivot? Why do you need to be down this pigeonhole? Let me tell you something. I think we are in a very annoying, I won't say it's forever, but I think we're in an annoying state right now where social media has dictated so much of our lives, whether we are just a consumer of it or we're a consumer and a creator of it, that because of how algorithms work and because of how different things happen in the tech space, we end up down a very specific vertical. We end up down a very specific aisle. We end up down a very specific area where we see a lot of the same things and we feel a lot of the same feelings. And as a creator, it can be hard to see what more you can do when an algorithm is telling you, make this kind of video, post this kind of photo, do this, do this, do this, and we get stuck because we think that's the right thing to do. All of that. Can we just, like, once and for all, the algorithms? Period. There are already enough people in the world that make us feel like we need to be a specific way all the time, and that is hard enough to combat. But for technology to tell us who we need to be and how for it to be perfectly laid out and branded and amazing is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It makes you think that you're only capable of 1, 2, or 3 things, otherwise you don't make sense and people can't put you in a box. And that is not a way to live your life. The way that you control it for yourself is to say, what's in the rear view mirror and why am I still focused on it? That's a dangerous way to drive. Don't do that. When you focus on what's in front of you, you make progress. You do the small thing and you do the more small things that make the hard thing happen. What is in the rear view mirror that you don't need to care about anymore? Let it go. Stop letting it be your story. Stop letting it dictate who you are. Stop letting it say what it means to be you. Here's an exercise. Introduce yourself out loud. I'll do it first. I am Amy Landino. I am. Now, what did you visualize after you said your name? What did you feel? What did you think? What is the personal brand that you thought of for that person that you said out loud, your name? If you felt something in you that's like, I don't like when I say my name, what the association is that I'm feeling. The association, because that might be something that you think other people think about you. It might be something that you think about you. It might be something from your past that you are carrying with you. Do you like the association that you make in your mind about who you are? If you do not, then it's time to change that. It's not about, I wanna be different, I wanna change, I wanna this. It's like, no, I am Amy Landino, and who is that person? That is who I'm becoming. Every day, that is how I'm becoming. I wanna give a little example. I was thinking of Beyonce when I came up with this exercise. At one time, you might recall, Beyonce went by Sasha Fierce in her mind to go out and do her thing on stage. That was her alter ego. But then she was like, okay, that worked at the beginning. Maybe I needed that at the beginning, but I don't need that anymore because I'm Beyonce. Duh. And the association that she made about the person she was becoming is the person she became. I don't know if we'll all have that level of Beyonce confidence. And also I think Beyonce probably has days where she doesn't feel quite as confident, but I know for sure that that must be true, that she doesn't need an alter ego anymore to go do her thing because she believes that her name is associated with the personal brand that she wants to emulate, and therefore the person she wants to be. So when you ask yourself how you feel and what you think about the person that you are, who you are, when you say who you are, do you like it? Because if you don't, it's time to change it. And the change is as simple as letting go of the rearview mirror. Guaranteed. I'm so freaking proud of myself for getting to this point. And I know that it was a positive journey for me because I still want to write another book, and I have to keep reminding myself to like slow my roll. Amy, just remember, it's always hard when you write a book, and it's hard in different ways every time, but it's worth it for me because it's who I really see as who I am. And I'm very, very excited for my next book. But I'll tell you about that in a very, very, very long time, because this is the one that I'm excited about for now. And it feels really, really good that we did a hard thing. And it feels even better that I did a hard thing with my best friend, with my team, with my family, giving birth during the process, being able to dedicate this book to our new babies. And it's just such a relief. We did it. And I also have you to thank. So thank you. Thank you for continuing to remind me to do hard things so that we can be here for each other. I will link to the book, the bonuses, and all the fun stuff that has to do with it in the description down below. I so appreciate if you buy a copy, and I even more appreciate it if you find somebody to gift it to, because I think we underestimate how powerful a book can be as a gift. And there are a lot of people in the world today who need a little mindful moment in the morning and who lose sight of that amazing person that they could become. And I invite you to be that connector for them, to give them that moment and give them that gift. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Remember, subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers. That was a small disaster, but okay. That was an imperfect video. That was a hard thing. That video I just made, that was a hard thing. I haven't done this kind of video in a while. Wow. I can do hard things. She's still singing. She's still singing.